Everybody having a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that it doesn't. I know it doesn't feel like Christmas. Weather's still a little bit hot. We had a nice little cold snap a few days ago last week, but guarantee it is Christmas to you. We're kicking it off tonight. Thank you guys again for joining us. I know with the PR staff, it always feels like this is the beginning of Christmas, traditionally for us, because you guys are here hosting this event. And before we go on, we've got some very special guests here to talk to us. I want to introduce the PR staff that makes all this stuff happen. And you guys deal with them every single day, and we appreciate that. Susan Flower. Everybody knows Dagmar Cardwell. Back there somewhere, Dagmar is the most important person in the room. I think everybody knows that. You can't reach any of us here, you can all reach Dagmar. Thank you so much. Sure. We have also Mari Delgado and Emily Winterhall aren't here tonight. They're hosting Shoots in the Park. They're doing great work and stuff. But if you see them in the park, wish them happy Christmas. We've got a couple more things for you now. And then when you guys leave here, we've got a few animals for you right outside. If you have awesome. And they got Rosie at Spoonbill. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce two people who are very, very special to us and also have a lot of knowledge in the parks. Mike Bose is in charge of all of the animal programs at SeaWorld. And we also have Kelly Clarity Clark.
Right over there.
Right over here, in the back there, with Shamu. So when we're done here, if anybody has any questions for Mike or Kelly about the animal programs, you guys have probably heard about the rescue of the pilot whales down the Everglades, and we can talk about that. But Mike and Kelly are both here, and also Mr. Terry Prather, who is our host tonight, and the president of the Orlando Park. And we're going to kick it off to Mike.
Well, thank you, Nick, and thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. We'd also like to thank our excellent culinary staff. How about the food, you guys? Now, before the event tonight and during the last few moments, I've had an opportunity to walk around and meet most of you, and it's just really terrific the amount of support that you have for us. And we really appreciate you coming out tonight to learn about the Christmas event. Now, you're probably wondering why is this new guy up here talking about the Christmas event? Well, I'm going to be real brief here. I'm just going to give you a recap of what we've done in our zoological department here at SeaWorld Orlando over the last year or so. Now, obviously, our core here at SeaWorld is not only the thrilling rides, and of course the amazing shows that really inspire people to learn about animals and their environment, but it's also the core of caring for the animals in our park and animals in the natural environments. Now, SeaWorld here in Orlando is part of a larger group of organizations, not only nonprofit organizations, but other organizations that care for animals, as well as government agencies that respond to many beachings and strandings and injured animals in our natural environment. And literally, we probably get 1 to 2 animals on our doorstep every day that need care from the natural environment. For instance, I'm going to give you a couple of statistics here, and they're very interesting statistics that you may not be aware of. We've been helping stranded and injured animals for over 40 years. We've helped over 22,000 different animals in many different situations. In fact, manatees, everyone's familiar with manatees. If you live in Florida, you know what a manatee is. Just this year, from January, we've had 17 rescues. Now, out of those 17 rescues, 10 of those have been returned to the natural environment. And that is always our objective. When we rescue animals, we always try to rehabilitate the animals, and we always try to take the animals back to the natural environment. Sea turtles. Everyone is familiar with our turtle track. We opened just last year. We've had 73 injured turtles come to us just this year. 53 of those have gone back to the natural environment. Now, this next number is a number you're probably not really familiar with. You may not see it in the media a lot because it's not a big, mega herbivore animal or fauna. It's birds. This year alone, we've had 355 injured birds that come to us. That's more than 1 bird a day. And it takes many hours, a lot of dedication, and a lot of passion to not only care for the animals that we have in our park, but also these stranded and injured animals. In just a few moments here, I'd like to introduce a video. This video is just a terrific video. It shows the passion, the dedication of our teams here. And for those of you that have been to the park before, you know the animals we have in our park. We pamper those animals. So these animals that come in that are injured and stranded, we do what we can to help those animals, but we also have a cooperative effort with many different organizations throughout the world. And right now, Susan's going to show you a video.
Conservation here at SeaWorld is a mission. It's a responsibility that we have and we all take very seriously.
I'm so passionate about the conservation side of things. It's making that connection to people who come to the parks and see these animals and trying to get across the message of what is happening out in the water.
It's in everything that we do, from educating guests, rescue amenities, to sending experts across the world to help an animal in need. We're there. SeaWorld is there.
SeaWorld is dedicated to the conservation of marine species, period.
They're definitely focused on a bigger picture, not just wildlife, not just the care of animals, but from recycling to conservation to focusing on the things that are important. This company has always been strong on it.
From the top person down to the bottom, they're there because they're passionate about the youth. They want to do the right thing.
We all need to be in this together, and I'm happy to be able to work with various researchers and people that are doing wonderful things out in the environment to help animals.
They won't take no for an answer. If there's a challenge, if there's a way to help either animal or wildlife and conservation efforts, they're committed.
Manatees are a good example of this. They're an endangered species. Every single individual animal is important. And so through the work to rehabilitate those animals, we're actually able to make a positive impact on the conservation of that species.
And they want to help not only the animals right in front of them, but the future of animals in the wild, and we know the conservation efforts.
There's a greater need to help wild populations and help wild places now than there ever was. To get that message across through our parks, through our animals, is something that I think is crucially important at this point in time.
Research is important simply because you have to look at sort of a big puzzle. The puzzle has missing pieces about animals and habitats and the way the biodiversity works. We learn pieces of that puzzle here in our living laboratories.
I personally have worked with a lot of SeaWorld researchers on a whole wide variety of research and science that you only see a part of when you actually come to the park. So there's a whole lot more going on.
We can do a lot of research here in our parks that it would be almost impossible to do out there. Things like raising fish in the laboratory, or looking at acoustic hearing ranges of dolphins, or cognitive abilities of sea lions. That's all stuff that you couldn't really do out in the wild. But you can do it here in our parks with our research projects, and then give that to scientists out there. Then, oh man, it just gives them just a head start on research.
There's a flow of ideas. We work with the staff over there, they notice amazing things about their animals, and we try to understand how it works. And we have ideas about things that might be great projects over there. We propose them and we work.
They really do participate at an international level with other aquariums and zoological facilities around the world, but also with wild populations of animals, from a rehabilitation setting to a research setting. And it's not something that I think most people are aware of.
The people that are studying animals in the wild learning other pieces that they can't see what we see because it isn't so up close and personal. They hardly ever see baby whales born at all. They don't know what the growth patterns are, the nursing capacity, the nursing frequency.
Our reproduction program is a major part of that. It's been very, very successful. Remember, we had roughly 80% of the whales and dolphins that live within our parks were born right here at SeaWorld, or in some others do.
We were the first to develop artificial insemination now in killer whales, Pacific white-side dolphins, wild dolphins, and beluga whales.
It's consistent with our larger mission, which is to keep that population healthy.
We can develop these technologies and then adapt them to the wild animals too.
We publish peer-reviewed papers in journals, and we also go to conferences and basically spread the love, spread the news of what we're discovering. And yeah, it's very important to disseminate this information so that it can be used by other zoos and it can just contribute to the basic understanding of a species' physiology.
SeaWorld is part of a whole global community when it comes to research when it comes to conservation, when it comes to rehab of animals. We're kind of like a cog in a big piece of machinery, all these pieces working together.
The beautiful thing about our conservation money is that 100% of the money donated is granted back out to projects around the world and right here in our own backyard.
SeaWorld definitely plays a vital role in those efforts by contributing resources that may not be available to a lot of organizations or agencies.
One organization that we've supported for many, many years is called Aquatica in South Africa. And they rescue and rehabilitate hundreds of African penguin chicks every single year. So our tours they're directly helping this organization conserve penguins.
Funding is a huge obstacle and a huge challenge for streaming networks to be able to continue the work that we do. And recently I was able to apply for a grant with the Conservation Fund, and it's really been a huge help to our organizations over the last year and what we've been able to accomplish. But we've been able to purchase that we really needed on site for rehabilitation so that we could continue what we're doing.
It was started back in 2003 to give something to the environment. It's a nonprofit part of our company. We're giving millions of dollars to projects in over 60 countries that really focus on research, education, but also sustainability and keeping animals and habitats around for years to come.
Guys, you can see we're just so passionate about care of animals. This is our core of our company. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring the hundreds, if not thousands of people that work in the company that care for these animals. I have to speak for them today, and this video really does justice to what they do every day and what they care about every day. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it with that. We're going to go ahead and introduce Mr. Terry Prather. He is our park president, and he's going to go into a little bit more what you're going to see tonight. Thank you very much.
First thing I have to do is lower the mic. The mic's a big guy. But really, thank you guys for being here tonight. And as we were thinking about hosting this event, we had a number of things going through our head. Like, well, why are we doing this? And really the why is simple. We wanted to take time out of our busy days, and hopefully you will give us some of your time to come out and really celebrate. As we get into the Christmas season, so often we're all so busy that we don't take enough time to celebrate. And there's so many things that have gone on over the past year that we all really need to take time out to celebrate, and Christmas is no better time for that. So Christmas is very special to us, and as we look back over 2013, think of all the great things that have happened, and it's gone by just in a flash. If you go back to the start of the year, we had an incredible event series with our Just for Kids, our Bands and Group, and Bands and Group barbecue events, and then something happened in our company back in April that many of you covered, and you probably remember that. It was a big deal. It was a big mark and a milestone in the life of our company. In April of this year, we went public, and now as a company, we're being traded on the stock exchange. That's a big deal for a company. So when you look back over the past 40 plus years, we've come a long way. Other things, probably that, and I think most of you were a part of, we had an opening back in May. We opened up a new attraction. It was called Antarctica, something small. Some of you may have seen it. You may have heard about it. But Antarctica Empire of England, thinking back, what an incredible attraction that is. When I think back several years ago as we started talking about how do we create an attraction that allows us to take our guests to a place that most of them will never go. And I don't know how many people in this room have ever been to Antarctica, but I, for one, have not gone. And when I take a vacation, I'm not going where it's cold. I'm going to the mountains. So it's just my record. But it is an incredible place. And as you think about it, and those that know much about it, the thing that we talk about in developing Antarctica is taking our guests to a place that they wouldn't normally go. But more importantly, the message behind that attraction, Antarctica Empire of England. You think about Antarctica, this place that is so just incredible. the coldest, driest, windiest place on Earth. Extreme, unpredictable, and you have these amazing, incredible birds that live there, these penguins, various species. And the only way they survive is through family. The family unit is what gets them through it. And as we think about all the things that we do, we consider you guys part of this SeaWorld family. Because in so many ways we're connected. You understand what we do. You deliver messages to so many people. All of your customers or your people that are blogging with or sending messages to. We're all connected as one big family with one big goal. Trying to make a difference, educate, inform. Always remember that conservation and education are key messages. That's what makes a difference in this world. So Antarctica told that story about the importance of family. And to us, there's nothing more important than having people like you as members of our family. So I appreciate you being here. Something coming up soon that you heard a lot about is a new attraction at Aquatica. It's going to be Breakaway Falls. Eagle's Breakaway Falls. For those that know who Eagle is, raise your hand. Wow. Good. You don't know, do you? Don't feel bad. Most people don't. But Breakaway Falls is going to be an exciting attraction. If you were looking for thrills at Aquatica, you will not find a bigger or taller thrill than this Breakaway Falls. So that's coming soon. Also coming in 2014, a couple of cool things here at SeaWorld. A new event, something that we started working on months ago. And you'll be hearing more about that in the coming weeks, called Wild Days. And Wild Days is something that we've been getting feedback about. Our guests, our past members who are saying, we want to know more about the animal side of the operation. So there will be 3 weekends dedicated to highlighting and bringing to life some really cool things. One thing we're going to highlight, the first weekend is going to be all about Jack Hanna and all of Jack's stories. So if you haven't had a chance to spend time with him, it's a great time to do that. Second weekend is going to be bringing Sea Rescue to life. If you've seen our TV show that comes on ABC Saturday mornings, it's an incredible show. It really highlights the work that Mike and his team does. So this year we're going to bring those stars, the stars of that show, into the park and share those stories with our guests. So you don't want to miss that. It's going to be a great weekend. And the final weekend is going to be all about penguins. And what I call penguin power. Everything about penguins you ever wanted to know, that's the weekend to be out here. So a lot of exciting things coming up with that. Also coming up in 2014 is our opportunity to celebrate 50 years of SeaWorld. 50 years. In March of 14, we'll be 50 years old. And for those that don't know the history, it's pretty incredible. Any company that's around 50 years, before the things that we've done over those 50 years. Mike talked about 22,000 animal rescues. That's not a small feat. But as it started, some 50 years ago, 4 fraternity brothers got together and had this idea and had this dream. And to look back, 49 years ago and think about this dream being a reality today and the millions of people that we've touched and the millions of people that we've informed and educated. It's a great story. We're excited about it. So we're going to be celebrating a lot. You're going to hear about our 50th anniversary. Lots of surprises coming, and really more to come on that subject. But why are we here tonight? Other than celebrating and thanking you guys for all the things you do to support us, help get our message out, it's all about Christmas. And Christmas at SeaWorld is unlike any other place in Central Florida. In our world, we say that we own Christmas. We're very proud of how we use Christmas as a platform to not only celebrate what Christmas is all about. The reason for the season is really the birth of Jesus Christ, and we talk about that. But more importantly, we use Christmas as another way of celebrating, connecting, and showing people that we care. If you go to the shows, whether it's the Ice Show or Shamu Miracles or A Wondrous Night, the greatest story never told, you'll see that we're all about connecting people to the natural world. So it's a great opportunity for us to extend our brand, let people know that we can find ways to celebrate the natural world and connect it with the incredible season. So we really appreciate you coming out tonight, and I think we're going to introduce Nick, which was up earlier. Nick takes care of all of our communications, and Nick keeps me from putting my foot in my mouth. So thank you, Nick. So thank y'all for being here.
Who is ready to go have some celebrating for Christmas? Have you guys ever seen the Oscars and they start to play the music when the program's gone a little bit long? All this laughter you hear from the kids is like that music that's going on. So I think we're ready to get out there. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Stock up on hot chocolate, get a couple of waters. We've got some animals on the outside there to greet you on the way out. If you have any questions for Mike or Kelly, we'll be here for a few more minutes. So have a great night and have a wonderful Christmas.